Now, what we are given here is two traits, because we know that in a monohybrid cross, we are only having one trait that is being investigated, and in a dihybrid cross, we are having two traits that are investigated at the same time. Now, you need to be able to break down and understand the two traits that you are having in a dihybrid cross. And each trait or each gene is going to have its alleles. Okay, so you need to be able to break that down before you even look at the questions. Please follow the same strategy in a test and also in an exam. So what we are having here, they've told us that in certain species of butterfly, we are having one gene that controls wing spot color. That is our first trait in question, and another one controls eye color. So what we are having here in terms of our traits, the first one is wing spot color, and the second one is the eye color in the butterflies. Okay, now the wing spot color can be red spots or gray spots. These are the alleles that they're giving us. So these are the alleles that are given. So that is, I'm going to struggle with space. Okay, so the alleles given for wing spot color is red spots and also gray spots. Now, remember, in each allele, I'm going to just quickly erase this because I'm going to struggle with space. Okay, so I just had to rewrite it because I could see that I was going to struggle with space. So in terms of wing spot color, we are having red spots and gray spots. Now, remember, in each gene or trait that you're given, there'll be two possible alleles, right? And these are the alleles that are given, the red spots and the gray spots in terms of the wing color. But from those alleles, one will be dominant and one will be recessive. And they've given it to us because they've not only given us the letter, but they've also given us the different sizes of the letter, right? So the red spot, as you can see here, received a capital letter R. So I'm going to change my color, capital letter R. That is basically telling us that the red spots are dominant. That is the gene that is dominant. And the gray spots received small letter R, basically indicating to us that that is the recessive gene. So red spots are dominant over gray spots. Again, the trait is wing spot color, and this trait is going to receive it's going to receive one letter, and the letter is R. The only difference is the size of the letter. The dominant allele will receive the capital letter, and the recessive allele is going to receive the small letter. Then, in terms of the eye color, so we are given the alleles for the eye color, which is black and brown. So we are given the alleles for eye color, black eyes and brown eyes. Do not just write brown, brown white, brown hair, brown what, it's brown eyes, okay? Now, they've also given us a letter for the eye color, and they've said that black is dominant. How do we know? Here, capital letter for E. So now the black eyes have received a capital letter E. That means the black eye gene is dominant over the brown eye one. So again, in a dihybrid cross, you need to know that you're going to receive two traits, and each trait is going to have its own letter. So the two traits that we're having is the wing spot color that received letter R and the eye color that received letter E. The only difference is in each trait there'll be two alleles and the size is going to differ. One, the dominant one will receive the uppercase and the recessive one is going to receive the lowercase of that same letter. So you need to be able to do this in your test and also in your exam before you look at the questions. Now let's look at the questions. Oh, before we even look at the questions, I need to break this down further. All right. So before you look at the questions, let's do this also. Let's add this. I do the same for the monohybrid crosses. Okay. So I'm going to change my color. So since you know that the red spots are dominant over the gray spots in terms of the wing eye color, so a butterfly that has red spots has two possible genotypes. Now, the two possible genotypes for red spots is capital letter R, or capital letter R and small letter r. The reason for that is this will be red spots that is obviously homozygous dominant for red spots, and this is heterozygous, and obviously it will still be red spots because the red spots are dominant over the gray spots. So these are the two possible genotypes, and the only possible genotype for a butterfly that has gray spots is small letter r, small letter r. We apply the same rule for black eyes. The possible genotypes for black eyes: capital letter E, or capital letter E and small letter e, sorry. Then for brown eyes, small letter E, small letter e. Okay, simple, 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 simple stuff. Now let's look at the questions. Butterflies are heterozygous for both genes were crossed. I'm not sure I'm reading like that, but anyways, butterflies that are heterozygous for both genes were crossed. Heterozygous meaning they are having different genes. So that means it will be one capital letter and small letter for the same letter. So the heterozygous ones here is the red spots one and the black eyes. Aye, guys. I mean, let me write this genotype again. So it's capital letter E, small letter e. So what are they saying here? So butterflies that are heterozygous for both genes. Which genes are they talking about? The wing spot color gene and the eye color gene. So that basically means that the butterflies that were crossed had red eyes, but with which genotype? Capital letter R, small letter r. And they also had black eyes. They had red spots, sorry, and they had black eyes in their heterozygous condition. Capital letter E, small letter e. So now if you were to even take it a step further and say, okay, before I even look at the questions, let me write down the genotype of these particular butterflies. So that means the genotype, if we're starting with the wing color, it will be capital letter R, small letter r. We're not done, right? And the eye color is capital letter E, small letter e. That is the genotype of both the blood butterflies, because they've said the butterflies are heterozygous. I hope we're together. All right, let us now answer the questions. I'm going to change my color again. Name the type of cross represented above. The type of cross that is represented above, guys, is obviously a dihybrid cross. And the reason for that is there's two traits that are being investigated here. So you then get your 1 mark. Now, give the dominant characteristic for each gene 2 marks. Give the dominant characteristic for each gene. So which genes do we have? Wing color and eye color. Which gene is dominant for wing spot color? Between these two, between red spots and gray spots, which one is dominant? Which one has the capital letter? There, guys, it's the red spots. So for the wing spot color, it is the red spots that are dominant. And the second gene is eye color. Which one is dominant? Is it black or brown? It is black. So black eyes. Black eyes. Please take note of this. You cannot say red and black. Red what? Red what? And black what, actually? So it's the red spots and the black eyes. So 1 mark, 1 mark. 153. The table below shows the phenotypes of all the possible genotypes of the offspring. Now, this is the phenotype. Now they're talking about the offsprings, right? They're no longer talking about the parents. The parents, this is obviously describing the genotypes for the parent, which is the genotype, okay? Now, the red spots, brown eyes, and the possible genotype. So that will be your X. And the Y, they've given you the genotype for the offspring. Capital letter R, small letter r, capital letter E, small letter e. Gray spots, brown eyes, that's the genotype. Now this is very easy because you have all of this information here. So if we were to look at the last one, they're saying the genotype is small letter r, small letter r, small letter e, small letter e. Let's look. With the r's, we're talking about this the wing spot. That is gray spots. Small letter e, brown eyes, brown eyes. So that means this offspring has gray spots and brown eyes. Now, for the Y that you need to answer, let's see the genotypes. You are given capital letter R, small letter r, which is what? There it is. It's red spots. So red spots, but you're not done. For the E, it's capital letter E, small letter e. There it is, black eyes. So that means this offspring's phenotype is red spots and black eyes, actually. Okay. Then for Y, it's a genotype. So the genotype, you use the letters. So they've given you the phenotype, you need to find the genotype. Red spots and brown eyes. So the genotype, red spot, that will be capital letter R, brown eyes, there's brown eyes, small letter E, small letter E. All right. And it can also be, remember with the red spots, guys, the red spots are dominant. So there's two options. There's two options here. So it's either homozygous condition or heterozygous. So it's that, and can be capital letter R, small letter E, small letter E, because for brown eyes, it won't change. There's only one possible genotype for brown eyes, since the brown eye gene is recessive. Okay, so how was this marked? All right, so we've answered A and B. The possible genotypes, we've answered at X, and the phenotype at Y, we've answered. The last question, give the genotype of the gametes produced by a butterfly with gray spots and brown eyes. All right, now what you're given here, they've said the butterfly has gray spots. There is gray spots, and the genotypes for the parents is small r, small r. This is not the answer, guys. I'm just showing you how you get your answer. Then brown eyes, this is the genotype for brown eyes. Small e, small e. In order for you to get the gametes, you have to cross them out, obviously. You have to cross these genes out. So it will be RE, 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 and RE. That's RE, in case you're just getting lost. RE, RE, and RE. So even if you just write one RE, since they are the same. So the answer is RE. That is the gametes.